For some, China seems like the perfect place to make your fortune and fulfill your dreams. Yet the country has a dark side that outsiders rarely see, and it's up to you to find out if you can handle the truth before it's too late. The 3 darkest truths about China that everyone should know are listed below. Before moving on, you must know that Factual Channel helps their readers to share some crazy facts that most people don't know. Hit subscribe button along with the bell icon to keep yourself updated with our factual updates. Many people are worried about the pollution. Air pollution in certain cities is so severe that it can be described as toxic. This extreme air pollution or smog can be seen from space. Widespread deforestation and water issues are huge problems facing China as well. Many say there are even things like forced abortions happening. These darkest truths about China paint a picture of a country struggling to find its way forward while also trying to maintain its culture and traditions. Don't talk about politics with strangers or coworkers. Speaking of which, you should know that there are things most people in China don't talk about with strangers. Traveling abroad and living in a different country may make you feel like nothing is off limits, but when it comes to speaking your mind freely, tread carefully, especially if you have something negative to say about their government. There are don'ts and unspoken rules everywhere you go. And while these unwritten laws might seem trivial at first, they can be surprisingly difficult to navigate for outsiders. So do yourself a favor and get acquainted with them before you arrive on Chinese soil. China executes 3 times as many people as the rest of the world combined. China carried out at least 1,718 executions in 2008, 3 times as many as the rest of the world, according to Amnesty International. Some analysts put the yearly figure closer to 6,000. Amnesty International said China remains a one-party state where human rights are severely restricted and that it routinely uses torture and other cruel punishments in attempts to elicit forced confessions. China is also home to an appalling number of prisoners on death row, with thousands more sentenced to death, it said. As a result of these factors, we believe that China executes more people every year than all other countries combined. China's enormous Gobi Desert is expanding 1,400 square miles per year due to water source depletion. The Gobi Desert is expanding by 1,400 square miles per year. This phenomenon has been caused by water shortages resulting from environmental mismanagement and over-extraction of groundwater. In some parts of northern China, 80% of groundwater is undrinkable. There are plans in place to reverse desertification, but it's too late for much of the North Gobi region that's already degraded beyond repair. Kindly hit the subscribe button and the bell icon as well. Chinese consume 55,000 cigarettes every second. It is probably one of those glaringly obvious health problems in China that no one seems to pay attention to China's secondhand smoke problem. The country's 1.4 billion people consume 55,000 cigarettes every second, according to a new report from British American Tobacco BAT. Nearly 500 million Chinese live on less than $2 a day. According to recent research, nearly 500 million of all Chinese live on less than $2.50 per day. China is facing a gigantic challenge, said Zhang Xinli, an economist at Peking University who led a team studying consumption patterns for the National Bureau of Statistics. The income gap between rich and poor has grown too big. Incomes have soared for China's urban middle class, but growth among rural residents remains slow. China averages 493 mass protests every day. This is not counting strikes and other forms of collective action. To put it in perspective, that's 1 protest every minute of every day. These protests can range from strikes to sit-ins to marches, but they all share one common thread. They are a way for ordinary people to be heard when they feel their government has failed them in some way. Unfortunately, not all of these voices will be heard because most mass protests in China end with a crackdown by police or paramilitary forces. Chinese credit card debt is projected to surge by 600% in 5 years. If you're reading this, you or someone you know is likely carrying a credit card balance. There are many ways to dig out of debt, and while personal finance blogs are now all the rage, there are still countless people who would benefit from one-on-one financial advice. If you have a college degree in any field and some time to dedicate every week, give financial advice as a side business idea on nights and weekends. You can start with something simple like offering your services as an accredited investor. As long as you meet certain requirements, by law, you can charge for investment advice without registering with authorities, so be sure to check your state laws before getting started. The truth is most people don't even need outside help. By taking these 3 steps alone, most consumers could get their finances back on track. Number 1. Pay off high-interest debt. Number 2. Start saving more. Number 3. Automate savings. Number 4. Invest wisely. Number 5. Never buy anything unless they're paying cash, including investments. These basic actions will help anyone get ahead financially and do so quickly. All it takes is a little self-discipline and organization. China has 64 million vacant homes, including entire cities that are empty. Recent studies have found that approximately 64 million homes in China are vacant, including in large urban areas like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. This is often because a home can be forcibly taken from its owners if it's deemed to not be properly utilized. By some estimates, China has 64 million vacant homes, including entire cities that are empty. It's like a ghost city or a science fiction movie. One photographer told CNN, "In Shenzhen, south of Hong Kong, most buildings are uninhabited, but many are still being built or have been just left half-finished by developers in their rush to grab land and get rich by building housing that nobody needs." China consumes 53% of the world's cement. All things considered, it's not surprising that the demand for steel and cement in China is greater than almost anywhere else on Earth. While cement production may not sound particularly insidious, in fact it is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions and environmental degradation. The amount of CO2 produced by cement kilns is also fatal. From poor air quality to water and soil pollution, industrial emissions are having a devastating effect on China's natural resources. Okay guys, that's all. Stay tuned and share that video of Factual with your friends. Kindly subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon as well.